I'm going to tell you a story about John Stewart. And I love to tell the story, and you're going to love it. So I go into Julie Schwartz. The hell out of my office. All you bring is trouble. Okay, so Julie, ignoring him. I think Green Lantern needs a backup. You know, if something happens to Green Lantern, he ought to have a backup, ought to have a guy to do the job, right? And Julie says, what are you talking? He already has a backup. I said, really? He says, yeah, Guy Gardner. So I said, in those days, you got to remember, you got to throw your mind back. So I said, who's Guy Gardner? He says, he's a gym teacher. I said, I'm sorry, I don't read the comics, Julie. I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out the comic book, pull out whatever. See, Guy Gardner, blonde, Midwestern gym teacher. Oh, let me point out, white Anglo-Saxon, blonde, Midwestern gym teacher. I said, Julie, okay, so let's have him hit by a bus. Later on, we did. Bam! You get hit by a bus, it puts you out of commission for a while. So he gets hit by a bus. I said, let's have him get hit by a bus. What are you talking about? I said, I think we ought to have another backup. What are you driving at? I just think we ought to have another backup, and maybe he ought to be, perhaps not, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Just saying. I said, I don't understand. What the hell are you doing? Look, the guy comes to Earth, he's purple. Okay? He's going to die. He sends the ring out to find the most worthy guy on Earth. He passes by Bruce Wayne. He passes by Clark Kent. All the heroes in the DC and Marvel universe, nobody except a test pilot. Okay? You know, I can get that. Chuck Yeager probably got balls of steel. Okay? Would you test a plane? A jet plane? I wouldn't. Sorry. Lots of things I would do. Test a plane, not one. I'm thinking, all right, I'm buying that. Test pilot, Hal Jordan, good. Okay? Thing goes out again. Passes by all these people, goes to a Midwestern gym teacher. I'm just saying, it just doesn't seem likely to me. You know, maybe it's possible, you know, you really have to stretch your imagination to find that. But Julie, did you ever watch the Olympics? I watched the Olympics. Did you ever see 3 white guys up there? You know, gold, silver, and bronze. I mean, just all white guys. Maybe in archery. White guys. But generally, you know, the Chinese are very good at gymnastics. The runners are black. I mean, just you're going to find a mixed group. You know, you're going to find a black guy and a white guy and an Oriental guy. Very rarely do you find 3 white guys. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe it ought to be not white. Says you want a black Green Lantern, don't you? Could be Asian. That's okay. I'm okay. Not that we've had a good record in Green Lantern with Asians. We had a character who was Asian called Pie Face. I don't think that was a good idea. I don't know why. Sounds like an insult to me. Pie Face. Not good. Well, that was my idea. It was a stupid idea, Julie. Really stupid. So you want a black Green Lantern? I said, sure. What the hell? Are you going to draw it? I said, well, likely I'm going to draw it because there's no artists in comic books that I know that know how to draw black people, including black artists. Generally, they draw white people and they color them brown. Fine, you can do it. Okay. Denny going to write it? Yes, Denny's going to write it. Okay, good, great. So Denny writes the script. Black guy, okay, architect, out of a job. 70s makes sense. Black architect, likely out of a job in the 70s. Just the way it is in America, folks. So I liked it. It was very good. He's not a guy who backs down, you know, talks to a cop in the street. Guys are playing cards or whatever, and the cops are harassing them. He gets on their ass. I like that. His name, Lincoln Washington. So I go to see Denny. Denny, Lincoln, Washington. He says, not mine. Julie. Julie, not mine. Okay. Go to Julie's room. Why? Close the door. I don't want any yelling. Julie. Lincoln, Washington. No, really. Lincoln, Washington. I know lots of guys with names like that. Oh, okay. That's a slave name, Julie. That's a slave name. You want to get letters from every black guy in America and a lot of white guys? Fill your office with letters? Call them Lincoln, Washington. I'm not drawing it. You get anybody you want to draw it. I'm not going to draw a Lincoln, Washington, Green Lantern. Not going to happen. Well, what do you think his name should be? A name, Julie, just a name, any name. Well, what do you think it should be? You pick the name. John Stewart, a name. How did I know he'd become a comedian later? How did I know? I couldn't possibly know. There's John Stewart. So, okay, so we did, yeah, fine, change the name. Just John Stewart? Yes, a name. We hadn't gotten into Muhammad Ali yet by that point, any of those Ali Arab names. We just got into regular names. So anyway, he becomes John Stewart. Well, everybody loves him. So much so that when the Justice League show comes on, guess who Green Lantern is? Hal Jordan or John Stewart? So when they announced the movie, this is sort of like the preamble. When they announced the movie and that Hal Jordan is going to be Green Lantern, every kid in America goes, who the hell is Hal Jordan? Because, millions of people watch television, only 100,000 people read comic books. Hal Jordan? Who is that? John Stewart is Green Lantern. And all the kids in America got pissed off. Did he show up in the movie? No, didn't show up in the movie. Did they lose $150,000? Yes, they did. Well, only it wasn't 150,000, it was 150 million that